Now the news in detail, local stories first. Anyone has the right to do politics. However, President Rajapaksa emphasized that no one had the authority to betray the country for terrorism.
මෙරටේ ජනතාවට වඩාත් නිවාස ප්‍රශ්නය සහ ගොඩනැගිලි කර්මාන්තය ගොඩනගන්නට අවශ්‍ය වැඩපිළිවෙල සකස් කරලා මෙරටේ රාජ්‍ය සේවකයා වඩාත් ශක්තිමත් කරලා මෙරටේ
He said the government planned to accelerate development in the future, generating more jobs. It will be carried out under the Mahinda Chintana extended version. He said this is the first time in Sri Lanka's history that unemployment declined to a considerable extent and a program crafted to solve the housing problem. The government is geared to solve the cost of living problem while strengthening the public servant. The president expressed his gratitude to the 6 million people who voted him into power again. The president said he is proud to make these announcements in the presence of the 70% of people who supported him from the Hambantota district. The president was addressing a meeting organized at the Thangalla town hall in connection with Nama Rajapaksa entering politics. Nama Rajapaksa ventured into politics at an auspicious time in the midst of religious observances held at the Carlton House in Thangalla. The religious observances were conducted by the Venerable Devalegama Dhammasena Thera, chief incumbent of the Tissamaharama Rajamaha Vihara. It was President Rajapaksa who signed the official document in relation to Nama Rajapaksa entering politics. First Lady Shiranti Rajapaksa.
Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe states that he is expecting a positive response following the briefing given to the United Nations Human Rights Commission in Geneva. The minister made this reference on his return after the briefing.
I took the opportunity of meeting with High Commissioner for Human Rights, Mrs. Navneetham Pillai. I took the opportunity of informing her about the National Action Plan on the promotion and protection of human rights, which she welcomed, and which she said that she would look forward to supporting. I also took the opportunity of informing her about the presidential election. I pointed out that even the international monitors have been very clearly stating that the result, the huge victory, the significant victory, makes it very clear that the election was held in a free and fair atmosphere. I also took the opportunity of briefing the High Commissioner as well as about 30 ambassadors who work out of Geneva, who are accredited to the UN about the Channel 4 incident as well as the white flag carrying incident, especially the statement which was made by General Sarath Fonseca during the course of the presidential election that soldiers had shot and killed, and the retraction of General Fonseca subsequently. I also made it a point to lodge a complaint against Professor Philip Alston, who is the Special Rapporteur on extrajudicial killings. Professor Philip Alston has conducted himself in a very unprofessional, subjective manner, a very partial manner, in rushing to New York and holding a press conference during the conduct of the presidential election, and informing the world as well as Sri Lanka that the Beef Tunnel 4 video was in fact authentic. We made these points and we asked the High Commissioner to look into it.
All military officers and soldiers are bound to heed the military law. Minister Dylan Pereira pointed out that the military police had the authority to arrest them if they have committed an offence, even without a complaint. Joining in the 7th hour program telecast over ITN, the minister said no one can interfere in activities of the military police. There is no person such as General Fonseca who vehemently opposed interference in activities of the military police. It was his firm stand. The government also does not interfere in such activities. There was sufficient evidence for the arrest to be made by the military police. Speaking further, the minister said no politician can influence the military law. The former army commander was arrested under the military law. This has been reiterated by military spokesman Major General Prasad Samrasinghe. Certain elements were attempting to put forward interpretations on his arrest. He said any military officer can be tried even after 6 months since retirement. The former army commander was arrested under Section 57(1) of the Military Act. He had been arrested under the military law. The military spokesman vehemently rejected allegations that he had been harassed during his arrest. Sarath Fonseca had berated the military officers who had attempted to arrest him. He was neither assaulted nor taken into custody with handcuffs. Major General Samrasinghe pointed out that Sarath Fonseca was being accorded all facilities. Family members have been given the opportunity to meet him. Permission had been sought by family members only last afternoon to visit him. Mrs. Fonseca, along with attorney Vijay-Dasa Rajapaksa, had met Sarath Fonseca. The meeting had lasted about 3 hours. The military spokesman added that all facilities are provided to a general was being accorded to him. The military law enacted in 1949 is still enforced. Sarath Fonseca was arrested under this law. There is no political involvement in his arrest. These clarifications were made today at Cabinet News Briefing.
Minister Anura Priyadarshini Yapa said it is a military and not a political task. Military tribunals prevail in many countries. Such a tribunal prevailed during the Dudley Senanayake regime. This is a system of maintaining military tribunals. The minister pointed out that it is clearly an issue of maintaining law, order and democracy in the country.
රටේ පවතින නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඕනෑම අවස්ථාවක යම්කිසි පුද්ගලයෙකු ජනාධිපතිවරණයකට අපේක්ෂකයෙක් හැටියට ඉදිරිපත් වූ පමණින් ඒ පුද්ගලයාට කිසිම වරප්‍රසාදයක් නීතිය හමුවේ අයිතිවන්නේ නැහැ.
Meanwhile, Minister G.L. Pires said that if the military did not have laws, it would have been difficult to maintain discipline in a military establishment. No politics was involved when a former military officer was being tried for charges under the military law. All citizens were equal before the law of the country. This was necessary to maintain discipline in society. The minister urged interested parties not to seek political advantage by interfering in matters related to the military.
අමතිවරු හැටියට අපි ඒකට කිසිසේත් සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක වැරදි. ඒක බාර වෙන්නේ මේ හමුදාවේ බලධාරී. ඒක දේශපාලන තීරණයක් නෙවෙයි. මානව හිමිකම් පිළිබඳ කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් මෙතන උද්ගත වන්නේ නැහැ.
Still on local news, Sarath Fonseca was planning a military rule. It was very clear in the latter stages in the manner he had spoken and addressed the people. This allegation is made by Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa in a telephone interview to the Straits Times published in Singapore. Sarath Fonseca was completely trying to isolate the politics and take the country on a different path. During his very last stages as army commander, he began to bring his people into Colombo and his regiment, positioning his senior regiment people all over. All these things were looking like a military coup. Gotabaya Rajapaksa said the rest of Sarath Fonseca had nothing to do with political differences. The biggest damage he has done was by coming into politics in the manner he did. It was very clear that while he was holding the Chief of Defence Staff assignment, he was working with politicians, holding discussions and trying to win them over. That was completely wrong because he was sitting in Security Council meetings. It amounts to treason. He knew everything that was going on. Sarath Fonseca started his political campaign when he was occupying the army commander's house. The biggest damage he did was to politicize the military forces. The Defence Secretary further told the Straits Times, a leading publication in Singapore, that the court-martial will proceed once some procedures, such as gathering the summary of evidence, are completed. Employment opportunities will be available for Sri Lankan youth in Canada. This follows an MOU signed by the Labour Ministry today. Minister Athauda Senaviratne stated that this is the first occasion that a North American country has entered into an agreement with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka will benefit immensely through this agreement. It will also bring a large amount of foreign exchange into the country. Addressing the media, the minister said the agreement will also help strengthen the country's economy. Over 1,000 Sri Lankan youth will receive training conducted by the YB Education Institute together with the Keene State College of Canada prior to their employment. The training will be available in the fields of hotel and nursing. The youth will receive both practical and theoretical training. Todi Edin of Keene State College said they will be given job opportunities in Canada after their training. The agreement was inked by officials of Canadian Keene College and the Labour Ministry. With that, we now take a look at the latest currency updates for today.